I wanted to make this video to address my absence lately on YouTube. I haven't been making nearly as many videos as I did early on. Mostly right now, at the moment, is because I don't have a lot of projects going with the car. But the last couple weeks before the previous video that I did regarding the brake swap on the Z, I actually broke my laptop that I used to edit my videos. It took about 2 weeks to get it fixed. So that was the time in between where obviously I didn't post any videos because I didn't have any way to edit them with the software that I use. Where I left off in the last video was just kind of finishing up this brake swap. I still haven't bled the brakes yet, but I did check to see, and my 15-inch wheels do clear the brakes with a little bit of room to spare. So I think any 15-inch wheel would be just fine with this brake swap, just in case anyone was curious on that. I forgot to mention it. Regarding the misfire problem with the Z, obviously I got this cover on, as you can see. Some of you guys might notice the old bracket that I had, the LS coils sat on top, and I didn't use this cover because it needed refurbishing. It's got some water spots on it now. I promise it actually has a decent finish when it's clean. But I made this custom emblem. This was while my computer was broken. The original one was in pretty rough shape, and I wanted the closest thing possible. And while I was at it making a custom decal, I figured I would change Nissan to Datsun. I was originally going to do a video on that, but at the time, without having my computer, I hate recording and then going like 2 weeks afterwards, and then I forget what my original intent of the video was, and I kind of lose direction with a project. So I like to edit right after I film it. It's usually just works a lot better for me. But obviously the colon plug swap is complete now with the cover on. Cover fits okay. It kind of pushes down the wires a little bit underneath the cover, which I don't really love. But other than that, I like the way it turned out. I think with the misfire, I'm gonna try to gap the plugs down a little bit more. Obviously, it's December, middle of winter, and in Wisconsin, I can't just take the car out and drive it because there's salt and snow and ice on the roads, and it's just not really an option. This blow-off valve is just a cheap, some no-name brand extra one that I had laying around. I tried a boost leak test with a homemade tester, which is somewhere. There it is. I noticed that my Greddy style blow-off valve, well, it is a Greddy, it's not a Greddy style, it's an actual Greddy, but it was leaking air with the throttle plate closed. It was bleeding off air at around 5 psi, which I don't think it should be doing. So I switched to this one, and it seems to hold pressure, and I thought maybe that would have been my problem. I took it out for a test drive, and it still misfired just the same. So I don't think my problem is a boost leak, but I really can't say I've done a fully comprehensive test on it yet to know 100% for sure. I'm still leaning towards ignition problems, but like I said, I want to try gapping the plugs down. If I have to gap them down any more than 20 thousandths, I think there's something else wrong with the ignition system, because I'm not running that wild of a setup with boosts that I should have to run anything tighter gap than that. But I'm just gonna have to keep messing with it. That's more for springtime when I can actually test what I'm doing. But I do have one update for today's video. I got an air compressor for the Boost Shack. It's a little bit smaller than what I wanted. It's only an 8-gallon. But it's a Briggs & Stratton, and I actually got this thing from Walmart. Brand new. I just took it out of the box and put the tires on it and the little carrying handle on it. I got this thing for $70, brand new. Like, I went right to the store and I saw it was on clearance, and I bought it because you really can't beat that price. I still need to get an air hose and fittings and stuff. Obviously this isn't a big enough unit to like run an impact all day or a grinder or anything like that, but for basic filling of tires, and I could run an impact just to get wheels on and off and some real simple stuff, I think it'll work just fine for that. I did a little test, plugged it in, and hit the switch. The only thing I don't know yet is where exactly I'm gonna put it, because I'm kind of running out of space. Another thing I haven't told you guys is the BMW Wagon is now, its life is over. I crashed it and it's wrecked, and long story short, it's no more. But I replaced it and I gutted the interior. And these are the seats left over from it. Not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I kind of need the space more than I need an extra seat. So I might list them up for sale. Not quite sure on that one yet. Obviously there's gonna be slower times where I don't have as many projects that need to get done as opposed to last winter when the car was just about ready to get out on the road as the swap was finishing up and I started filming. So I don't have anything going on that's that monumental, I guess. Right now it's a lot of smaller stuff. But for now, this is the new toy, and I'm sure we will put it to good use. One last thing I wanted to mention to you guys watching is at some point in the future I do want to open up some sort of merchandise as far as like shirts or stickers or lanyards, because I think it represents just your regular average Joe in a small garage. It just shows what you can do in a very small, simple space with limited tools. I think there's a lot of people out there who kind of like the idea of that, because it's not like you need some crazy big shop to accomplish something and make something unique and your own. And that's really the idea and kind of the mindset that I want to get behind this channel, is that you don't have to be a total mechanic, know everything, because I definitely don't. You probably see that more when other people film me, because I'm a lot more of a goof when I don't really have a chance to make a second take at things or go over something a first time so I know what I'm talking about when I show you guys the second time I do it. So that's kind of what I want this brand, so to speak. I haven't started anything yet. It's just something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I feel like this whole thing that I'm doing kind of gives me an opportunity to get a little artsy and have fun. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks to everybody who subscribes. The channel is now over 1,500 subscribers, which for less than a year is well above and beyond my original goal of where I thought I would be at this point in time. So that's pretty cool, and I'm probably not only going to be working on my stuff this winter, but I'd like to go work on other people's stuff too and record some of that just to change up the vibe. Some of the videos I do over the course of this winter might not always necessarily be here or on my stuff, because I have plenty of friends with their own projects, like Kyle for example, who's going to be doing an engine swap in his car. I don't think he has the engine in yet, and he really needs to get on that. If you're watching, Kyle, you need to get that swap started, because it's almost January. Jake, he's got a Civic hatch, but he's got a project with that going over the winter. He's got plenty to do with that. And I've got a couple other people with one guy just bought a Datsun. So we got Datsuns, we got Hondas, we got mostly Datsuns and Hondas, and I'm gonna try to bring you guys some content with that stuff too. Obviously the people watching, probably 90% want to see Datsuns, but I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I just don't want stale content, so I want to try to keep it fresh and keep things interesting. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who supports this channel. It means a lot to me. And just in case this is my last video before Christmas, have a great Christmas, you guys, and we'll see you next time.